viewers watching this. Welcome to the journey that is this video. You're going to see a lot of shaking. You're gonna hear a lot of heavy breathing. So let's get into this. I know that I'm not a good cook at all, but one thing I am great at is scrambled eggs, and I can make the best scrambled eggs ever that required the least amount of effort possible. So I was reading this one article, and it was about Gordon Ramsay scrambled eggs, and he had to go through all these steps and whatever, okay, those might be better than mine, but for the amount of work you have to do for these eggs, it's the best you're gonna get. And I think that it's so worth it. They're so fluffy and good, and it's not like those restaurant ones that are they're pretty good but they're not fluffy, you know. They're good. So what you're gonna need for this is a pan and a spatula, some eggs, a bowl, a fork, a knife, and some butter, some milk, and optional is some cheese. And also, if you want, you could use salt and pepper. It's up to you, but you know, do you on that part. All right, so let's get started. First of all, we should probably wash our hands. So, all right, so I'm back from washing my hands. They're squeaky clean. So yeah, first, I'm gonna give you several tips throughout this video. Tip number 1, the pan handle is on the opposite side of your dominant hand, because then you can hold it, you know, while you're spatulating it up with your dominant hand. Makes it so much easier. So step 1 is cracking the eggs into the bowl. I'm using 2 for today, but you can use however many you want. Let's see how good I can do with one hand. Okay, take any shells. Oops, that's my fingers covering it. Take any shells out if they're in there, and then tip number 2, up as you go, my dudes. So I'm gonna take this and garbage. All right, now let's do the second egg. Oh, see, there's a little bit of shell in there, so you just grab it with your hands. This is why we wash our hands. Connor, get out of here. And there we go. And then we go throw this in the garbage. This seems like an unconventional method, cracking eggs with one hand. And it is, but it's all the best for your viewing experience. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that. Okay, hold on. Alright, so the part that I was showing you didn't record because I didn't click the record button. So basically, you take milk and you pour it in here little bits at a time, and you whisk it all together until you get this color. It's a pale yellow color, not really white, but it could be white almost. So I'll just do a little bit more. You just take little bits of milk at a time, just so that you don't add too much milk, and you whisk it all together. Wow, look at that. So the reason we have the butter is just to grease the pan. Okay, so you take some. I have no idea if this is too much or not. See, it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't, because this is not too crucial. If it's too much, then your pan is too greased. I don't think that's a thing. But if it's not greased enough, you just add more butter. And then you turn on the flame. I like to do it pretty much on low. Make sure the flame is on, because one time I didn't have the flame on and it smelled horrible in here because it was just gas. And you just wait for that butter to melt, and you spread it around to get your pan all nice and greased for those eggies. Okay, so see how it's all melting? You just take this, move it around, make sure you get the sides, you know. So now that it's pretty much all melted and spread as evenly as I think it needs to be, and it's all on the sides, you just take your eggs and you pour it right in there, and then you just leave them here. when it cooks, you can see it start to clump and get more fluffy. So you leave it sitting here. You don't mix it or stir it until it gets some clumps, and then you stir it. Okay, so I went back and I watched some of my video clips, and I know how bad I am at holding the camera, because like I'm looking at it, not on the camera, so I know I'm like this when I'm actually doing something, so you can't really see it. I'm sorry. A few more tips while we're sitting here and waiting. Waiting tip numero un. First best thing, which is optional, is always cooking with someone. Cooking with someone is like the most fun thing you can do, because it's like, it doesn't matter what happens to the food, you know, it's about the experience. You might regret it later, but it's gonna be fun. The first one that like anybody can do, because you know, the first one you might not have friends, and it's just listen to music while you're cooking. It's fun. You can just dance around while cooking. You exercise while you're making something that's gonna make you fatter, and that's good, because it's like it's balancing it out somewhat. It's steaming now, so we're back, and as you can see, it's starting to cook a lot. Well, not a lot, just keep going. Yeah, and you don't have to stir it constantly, I guess. You just kind of wait a little bit until it starts cooking. It would really suck if I told you how good I was at this and then it like ended up turning out really bad. Cause like honestly, there's been some times where I've done the exact same thing as I do every other time, and it just failed miserably for some reason. I don't know what I did wrong. I think I might have been, whoa. Okay. I don't know, that's never done that before, but I assume that means I should keep stirring it so that it doesn't do that. But yeah, this is weird. I've never actually seen this texture of egg before. I might have added too much milk. Hopefully I didn't, because I don't really want these eggs to turn out well. This is weird. At least I can add some clickbait to the title if it does end up failing. It's not clickbait though, actually, because I did actually fail. But yeah. So you just keep on stirring this. See how it gets on the sides. Just make sure to get the sides. That's also why we greased it earlier, so that we could just make sure that it gets all that. Okay, so my brother has told me that he thinks that I added too much milk. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fail this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna improvise, like any good cook should be able to do. So I'm going to add another egg and stir it. I turned the heat. So I'm gonna try to add another egg and see how this goes. We are everything but professionals. And, oops. Oh no, that's not good. We stick, well, let me just see. Oh, thank God. It all came out. But if it doesn't come out, use a fork or something instead so that you don't burn your hands. So yeah, we're just gonna whisk this in with the fork that we have from earlier. It's kind of ending up sort of badly, but you know what? That's okay. Like I said, it's about the experience. I don't have anybody else here right now, except for my brother somewhere who's criticizing me, but I have you guys. By you guys, I mean my teacher and the fellow people helping me with this project, if they choose to watch this, which I really hope they don't, because then they see this. So tip number whatever we're on it right now, that if that happens, do not clean it up right now, because it's going to be hot and you're going to almost burn yourself. You might not burn yourself, but it's going to get pretty close. So I don't think this is getting fixed. It looks like applesauce. So I don't know what's happening. I think it's just because, you know, I added the egg and the chemistry, you know, it was already heading down this path, so it was like there's no coming back now. So that's how chemistry works. You know what? I'm gonna actually get some help and see if anyone can fix this. And by anyone, I mean my father, because He's the only other person in this house at the moment that knows how to cook, because my brother doesn't even know how to make a slice of toast by himself. So let's see if he can help out. Got some experts on this, and they said, and by they I mean my father, he said that it should be okay because it just isn't cooked yet, and I hope that he's right, because this is looking like some weird gross form of applesauce and I'm not liking it. So let's just see how this continues to go. I'm gonna just continue to cook it. Oh god, I don't know what I did. See, this is what I mean by the failed thing. I knew it as soon as I said it because it was ending up like this. So I'll get back to you if something miracle happens or if it just keeps going down this horrible destructive road. So my mother just walked into the house and said that these are gonna end up fine too, and I hope she's right. She actually turned up the heat so that they would cook faster. I've never done this before, so let's see how this goes. This is just an experimental day. It went from tutorial to experiment because it went from okay to this. So this is how my Blink project's going. It's just this. Sorry, I missed label. Cooking because the heat has been turned up, but that also means that they can burn a lot easier. I've never actually turned up the heat that much before. I'm acting like it's on like some horrible temperature. It's literally just medium heat instead of low heat, which is fine. You know, it's whatever. And nothing has changed. I mean, it looks more cooked, but like it still looks like this. Honestly, you know what though? It doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters what it tastes like. So we're gonna keep on cooking, keep on trucking along. My dog is crying because he's been locked out of the bedroom. Oh my god. Wait, I think it's a miracle. Guys, this is actually turning out to be pretty okay. Like, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It's not like big clumps, but it's like the same texture, but like smaller chunks. So hopefully this actually turns okay. I'm actually gonna turn the heat down. I'm scared. This video was supposed to be the least amount of effort, but honestly, it's been stressing me out. So the stress effort it has gone up, but it shouldn't stress you out when you make this, because you see that like improvising, it doesn't matter. You just fix it, and it just boom. And if it doesn't fix it, oh well, you get eggs. It's egg juice. That was my dog flying by, like the super hedgehog he is. So you just keep on cooking. Tip number whatever. I have a stove light, so I turn it on all the way, and I see if it's like, oh, you can't see it on the camera, but in real life you can see how much moisture the eggs have, and if it's like really shiny in the light, you need to cook it more, and if it's not as shiny, you can stop cooking. This is almost done. It's not really that cooked. Make sure you flip it over and get both sides. Yeah, these look pretty done actually. I have no idea if these are good or not. So I'm gonna take these off the heat. I'm gonna figure out a way to get the egg juice out of here because that's disgusting. Great, tip number, I don't know. I forgot to say this earlier, but you should always keep this to the side. It's the egg bowl from earlier, because you know what this is? The shell that we use for improvisation and this gross egg juice. So I got most of it out. Now I'm gonna put it in a bowl. Tip, I'm not even saying a number anymore because I forgot what number we're on. So you put those in the bowl, and by those I mean eggs, because that's what this is. While they're hot, put the cheese on it. I'm gonna try to open the cheese with one hand. Oh yeah, I'm so great at this. So you just sprinkle how much you want on. And this is always optional, but like, I mean, if you do it while it's hot, the cheese melts on there, and it's so good. So I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna just clean up a little bit, wait for that cheese to melt, and then I will show you what it tastes like, because I don't know what it tastes like. No. Yum yum. Okay, I'm taking. Okay, so now it's like mixed. You can see all that nice cheese. And now I'm gonna actually take a bite of this. These are actually really good. They taste like how I thought they would taste, or I was hoping they would taste. So this just goes to show how you can take anything in the kitchen and make it eggs